beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I am so happy and I just wanted to say thank you for being here and supporting me because it means a lot. The channel is slowly growing and I'm trying to obviously not be so demotivated because it's a slow growth and I just started putting more effort and time into YouTube. But for everyone who's on here and being so supportive and watching and commenting, especially because that really helps to know that, you know, you guys are watching and you like the content that I'm making. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So without further ado, today's topic is I'm going to just be answering a few questions that you guys have asked me on Instagram. I'm going to be doing a series about this because there's so many questions and I just want to keep it short and simple and divide it up into different series. So part 1, answering your questions. Let's go. So the first question, let's go into industry stuff, was how to start from zero without any professional picture. The thing is, when I started my career, I didn't have many pictures at all for modeling. When I got signed with my agency in LA, I had to, before that happened, find photographers that are also testing in the industry who would like to grow their own portfolio and would like to work with you at the same time for you to grow your portfolio. So I actually found an amazing photographer that we ended up shooting 3-4 looks together, and that gave me a variety to at least show to the agency when I started. You do have to have some sort of professional pictures. There are cases where you get scouted or, you know, they see you on Instagram, but mostly it's best if you have something just to show that you are experienced a little bit in front of the camera. I would have test as much as you can because this builds your confidence and you get a portfolio variety and you can, you know, play around, let friends shoot you, study different poses, just have fun, and that's the most important thing, I think. Next question. What is the first step? How do I get into that industry? What if no one takes you? You know, I don't want to be harsh, and also I don't want to be self-critical or have no hope, but when I was in New York, I was 18 years old, and everybody when I came to my acting school said, Sony, you have to model, blah blah, and compliments, and I was hearing so much, and my confidence and my boost was, my ego was like through the sky, and I was like, yeah, like I'm hot, I'm this, I'm gonna be a model. And I just went to like 5 modeling agencies and they literally said, bye Sony, like what are you doing here? And then my whole confidence and my ego went so low that I was just like, why did I even do this in the first place? Because all of them said no. So there's this one side is that the more no's you receive in your life, the harder you push, the better you do, the more motivated you stay. And it kind of, I was also studying, so it kind of led me to a decision like, hey, I'm just gonna study and get my degree and then we can look. Like, this was not my goal. You know, in any profession or in anything in life, if you work on it every day for at least an hour, every day, you're gonna be better. You're gonna be the best at what you do. If people say no, there's a reason for it. So self-evaluate, step back, sit down and see why. Like, what can I do better? Because some agencies, they will tell you why, some won't, obviously. That most cases don't. They just never reply, you know, if you submit. But I knew that I wasn't ready. Like, one agency told me my butt's too big, my thighs were too big, I was short, and I was like, this is not my market. You know, I have to build myself, I have to start taking care of myself, I have to, you know, be fit because I was skinny, but I didn't go to the gym. So I started doing all of this without any pressure. And then at one point, you know, I submitted again in 2 years and I got signed in New York, and I was like, you know what, sorry, but you know, I'm being real. These things like really demotivate you, but when it happens, you're just like, you know what, I worked hard, so here I am. I would always assess why is the no there. You always have to, if you're the best in the room, you're in the wrong room, you know. So the strongest people hear no's a lot. So if you're hearing that, that's a good step. Just, you know, don't be too harsh on yourself and just see what you have to improve on and do. The next question we got, can scars prevent you from being successful in modeling? So honestly, I have a scar on my back, and right now, of course, there's some clients that are like, we don't want to do photoshops, and tattoos I thought was a thing. And then I actually got like, I have 4 tattoos now. And at one point I was just like, I want to do it because the more you model, the more you talk to clients. And I asked them, what's your outlook on tattoos? Like, do you edit them? Do you Photoshop them all? Do you keep them? And you know, a lot of clients were like, we're actually keeping it to show the model and to show her personality, and that's her. And a lot of clients are actually liking it. If you have a small scar, I don't think it's a game changer at all, because my scar on the back is small, so some do edit it and some don't, and it depends. I think you should embrace it and not worry about it too much, because in the end, if they love you and if you sell their clothes, they can Photoshop it, because majority of e-commerce or brands are using Photoshop for sure. So best international or German agencies. This question was something that I think I answered a couple of years ago on my YouTube as well. And in my head, when I started modeling, I was like, okay, so obviously we have agencies that their names are like been around for a long time and their reputation is great because they have the biggest models. So for example, IMG, Lions, Elite, Model Work, Chic, whatever agency in any country there is, like there are specific top ones for a reason. I made a mistake because I was thinking so high and I was like, I have to be with IMG or Elite, you know, like I signed with Elite Miami. Currently my agencies are Elite Miami, Industry LA in New York, Vivian's Australia, M4 Germany, BDM Models Netherlands, and Barcelona. These are from the top of my head that I can remember. But you know, you can see that at one point, so I was with Wilhelmina in LA, I moved to Lions. I wasn't working so much because there are some agencies that they will sign you, okay, you're pretty, yeah, we like you, just to add to the list. And then there's some agencies that actually look at you and they're like, you are the one we want to push you, please come, we have the clients for you. They push, they're small, they're like a family, and those are the best agencies I've ever had in my life. So the name doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, it's cool to be like in your portfolio, yeah, I'm with, you know, these big agencies, whatever you like or whatever you dream or think is amazing for you. But to be honest, those boutique small agencies that are really like family, they push you, they know everything about you, they check up on you, and they spend time with you so they can really like promote you to the brands and know your personality, how you are. So I think the best thing is always finding your top 6, 7, whatever number it is, going to the agency, meeting the people, seeing how they are with you, because some are gonna be like, yeah, whatever, and some are really gonna fight. And I came to Australia and I went to Vivian's, and I had 2 more agencies that I wanted to see, and they had a bigger name, and I was like, I really want to sign with them. But I went to Vivian's, I had a meeting with them, and the same day actually, they emailed my manager and they were like, here's our contract, we want to work with her. That just, to me, no agency moves like this if they don't want to work with you so much or they're not excited. So that to you should speak louder than the name. So yeah. Next question, how to look for an agency. Again, I usually research, like I had no idea about the Australian market when I came here, and I researched top modeling agencies in Australia, and then I got a list. I went on their websites and I looked at the portfolio of models to see if there's anyone like me, what kind of portfolio they do have, what kind of models they work with, how they look, like everything. Research a little bit about them, have it in your notes, call up, meet, whatever it is, and yeah, that's how I find them. It's usually just really Google or word of mouth. I texted a couple of my friends from Australia who are models, and I was like, what agencies are good? What have you heard? What experience have you had? And kind of get that information too, like a database search. You prefer modeling in summers or winters? You know what's the most messed up thing? Is that in summers, you always model winter clothes and you're sweating like a crazy person. And to me, I remember the craziest time we had, I was just sweating so much, and I was in the changing room and my undies were wet because I was sweating like insanely, profusely. And I was just like, I don't even know what's better at this point, because as humans we always complain. If it's hot, we want it to be colder. If it's cold, we want it to be hot. So it's just always, you have curly hair, you want straight, you have straight hair, you want curly. So we're never really happy. I honestly would rather be hot than cold, because it's also, yeah, I've goosebumps all the time. So I'm like, you guys are gonna you can't even edit that stuff, Photoshop. How to relax your face. That's actually a really good question, because I feel like I at one point didn't really know how to do that too. I was doing a lot, like, I think I was a bit too tense, but in the end, I think you have to adapt to modeling is like about taking what's inside of you and showing it from the outside. It's your eyes. So you always have to relax your face fully. You know, massage your face, massage your forehead, massage your eyes, massage every little part, muscle on your face, relax it, and then think of like happy things. And then you're like fierce, thinking, I'm always thinking, I'm strong, I'm sexy, I'm beautiful, I'm powerful, I'm wearing like the best clothes, I feel confident, and it all comes out, you know, like you can even tell when I model up to this day, if I wear something, you know, so a lot of times I wear things that I would never wear, I don't like, but this is my job to sell it to other customers because there are people who love it and it's fine. And I actually don't feel good, but I have to put on that image that so I can sell it. But then I wear something sexy and I'm like, damn, I look hot. And then I move completely differently. I'm more free and confident, and that's just it. But study your face, study your muscles, what is more tense, do relaxing exercises, and that really helps. How to learn improve posing. That also adds to my story about studying yourself, always in the mirror. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about how models posed, and I also watched my friends. I remember my first job in LA was Forever 21, and I met my girlfriend, Jessie Lee. Shout out if you're seeing this, because you're the queen. And I saw her modeling and she was just amazing. I mean, how fast she was moving, and every pose was like insane. So I came up to her and I'm like this 18-year-old who never modeled in her life, and I'm like, hey, I'm Sony. I'm sorry if it's okay if I watch and learn from you because you're so amazing. Because we've all been there, you know. It's just the same thing like when we're learning how to drive on the streets. Like, people give you shit for being a learner because you always have the worst car and you have a big sticker on the back saying that you're learning how to drive, and people already hate on you without even seeing who's in the car if they see that sticker. That's what I always try to say. Those people that hate on you have also been there and have also been learners, you know. So you never have to forget that we all start at the same pace. No one just started one day started modeling and was like Irina Shayk or Adriana Lima. Like, they all started from somewhere. You never have to forget that. So always learn, watch videos of all models. YouTube has so much that like it's so easy nowadays. How to get confidence if you're trying to break in. Confidence is such a tricky thing to me because I have days when I feel so unconfident, and it's totally okay. The most important thing I would say is you have to find things that you love about yourself. So I always tell myself and look in the mirror and say, what do I like? Like, what are my strong qualities? Inner qualities and outer qualities. Like, I love my butt, I love my eyes, I love my hair, I love, you know, you have to say it and practice it, because what you say, you preach. So building that always starts from there. Find things that people love about you. Ask your friends, hey, what do you think is my strongest quality? Have these conversations with the closest people around you. There's nothing wrong with that. When 5-6 people say, you know, your eyes are the strongest thing, most beautiful thing about you, like from the outside, I got the most beautiful eyes. I have the best hair. I love my stomach. I've worked hard for it. You know, like all these little things get in your head. There are days when I wake up and I'm like, I suck. I don't look good. My body looks horrible. Why do I look like this? And it's fine. We're all human in the end, not robots. Okay, this question I can really relate to. My agency told me to lose weight. How do I find my niche in the industry where I don't need 90 centimeters hips? I was promised a lot if I lost my hips, and I said, I love my butt and I'm not gonna lose it. And this was just my personal decision. Did I lose a lot of clients and opportunities from it? Yes. Was that important for me? In the end, not really, because I didn't want to starve myself and try to fit in a market that I didn't originally. Like, Paris is still unfortunately a market where they love the skinny, extra skinny girls who don't really look like they don't really eat, and it's just like it is sad. And there are girls who do eat and look like this, they just have that body type and they go perfect into that market. I know I'm not that person, and a lot of the industry has changed and is changing, which is amazing, and they are embracing the bigger hips and the bigger boobs and the bigger body types. And I know a lot of my girlfriends who really stopped stop chasing that ideal 90, 60, 90 measurements, and they're doing just as good, if not better. So I think you definitely will find the niche. You just have to also find an agency that will take you for who you are and not try to change you. Next question we have is how to have a good relationship with food and still stay in shape. To be honest, I have a lot of days where I eat whatever I want, and cheat days and cheat meals and everything of that. Of course, nutrition is really important. If you work out in the gym and your nutrition is bad, you won't see results, and vice versa. If you eat good food and don't work out, you also won't see the results you want. So it's always good to have a balance. Like, don't be too extreme. There's some people that are so extreme in both areas. The thing is, you have to have your balance and you have to give your body what it wants. So let's say 90% I eat good and I train, and then 10 I won't, and it's totally fine. You just have to find a good balance with that. I like this question. How to grow on social media for modeling. It's so important to have socials nowadays. Guys, I've been stuck on the same number on Instagram for so long. It's just super hard. TikTok is the new growth platform. Like, I'm growing fast and you see results much quicker. Instagram is just becoming really hard. And YouTube as well. I think YouTube is very successful for people who started early. I think you have to find what you're good at. The most important thing is, I personally say, if you can focus on building your social media, do it. I even tell my girlfriends who are models, because, you know, I will have clients do free gifting promotions and stuff, and I will get clothes, and some of my girls are like, you're so good at it. And I'm like, you can utilize your platform too, but you don't. And I always encourage that, because if you can do it, you have your market, you have your niche, you can really build. You just have to start posting. Post 3 times a day. Post every single day, you know. Find things that people like and don't. Experiment, try out, and just don't be scared. And if people say this is stupid, don't listen to them. And that's all. Do you ever turn down jobs now that you're respected in the industry? Yes. I think it's a big privilege to get there, and it takes a lot of time, and I've always been the person that I just appreciated working. The longest time I wasn't turning down jobs and I was doing everything, but at one point you obviously build yourself and you build your reputation with clients and agencies, and you grow, and you just can't do the jobs that you did 5 years ago, and that's totally okay. So yeah, I would say you have to definitely get to a point and still keep grounded and know your value. That's it. How hard are the rejections? How do you make yourself feel better when you get no's? That's a good question too. I think it all starts with confidence, and back in the days when I started modeling, and as I said before about my New York story, it was so hard because you're so young and you have high hopes and dreams, and you don't really know who you are, and you just are still searching for yourself. It's really hard to hear that. I think life experience in general, the older you get, the more you know that this is me and I'm this kind of person and this is what I bring to the table, and I'm not a shit person, or I'm not this. And you know, you grow this inside of you, that if you hear a no, you're like, I can't do anything about it. If you don't like me, you don't want me for a job, that's fine. Someone else will, and a bigger opportunity comes. So you always have to look at it from a positive side, because yes, sometimes it's hard, because I've had dream clients book me and then I lost the job, or I didn't get the job, or I didn't get it because another girl who had more followers got it. And it hurts, because you're like, maybe I could have done better, but I try to be happy. I'm not saying every time I hear a no, I'm just like, that's fine, whatever. It does hurt sometimes, less as the older I get, but I think it's just important to know that everything happens for a reason, and if it's not this opportunity, then there's gonna be a next one, and the universe just has something better planned for you. And never stop working at yourself. Better yourself each and every time, and in the end, you will get what you want. Do you ever find if a brand wants to work with you on Insta, they likely won't book you for a job? This is also interesting, because a lot of clients I work with, I work on social media promotions, and then a lot of clients I work for, you know, e-com and day shoots, and then I don't work on social media promotions. But I think they, you know, most of the time you do work with those brands, and it just, I can't really answer this question because I'm not a brand or a client, but it works both ways, if you get what I mean. Question from the boys. What do all photographers do with all the photos from your shoots? Do you even have access? Usually it works like this. You're gonna shoot, let's say it's a test shoot. You take, like, let's say 5,000 pictures, and you know, sometimes the photographers will be like, hey, here are all the 5,000. I mean, they will go through the ones that had bad light, your eyes were closed, you know, something was off. And then let's say you get 4,000 pictures and choose your favorites, 20, 25. It depends on the photographer, depends of how high class he is too. I've had photographers that will not do it, but that's the second option that I'll tell you about. But yeah, you'll choose like your top 25 and you're like, these are my favorite. And then maybe he will have his own favorite and he will edit those and make a Dropbox file and you both have your favorites done. And then the other option is that you work with like a really big photographer and he is like, I'm the photographer, I know my judgment, I know better. He will choose his top 15. Sometimes it's 5 and then you get the pictures. But those pictures are usually, yeah, you get them and they're amazing, but you don't have that option. Of course, they keep a lot of photos in their Dropbox or iCloud files, you know, and yeah, I wouldn't know how long they keep them for and stuff, but I know that there's a photographer I worked with back in 2017 and he still has my photos and stuff for his own, you know, portfolio. Basically, that's that. How do you balance modeling and making money from socials? You know, social media, I just started doing it like more serious since I signed with a social media agency, but I try to, obviously my focus is on modeling, so I have my modeling 9 to 5, let's say, typically, and then I allocate days where I shoot socials. So on the weekends it's mostly, or in the evenings, it just depends, because if it's if I need to promote this top and I have to shoot a picture, I can even do it when I'm going to dinner with my girlfriends and I'll just be like, hey, can you just shoot a couple pictures and this is that. So I always try to put a lot of work and energy and thought into it, but it's not my number one priority in terms of modeling. And I try to find the days where I don't work and I can make my social media stuff done, you know, for that. Does all your income come from pure modeling or do you have any side job? Pure modeling. That's all it is. So social media and modeling. There's nothing more that I do. In which country do you work best? So actually, my best market for me is LA. I work a lot, I work with a lot of clients and it's just very commercial and I'm very commercial, so it works best. London was great for me too, and then New York is always good, but it's more like campaigns and high fashion. So I am more commercial, so it is LA. Yeah, this other question, very similar to the previous one. Working as a model in LA versus Europe versus New York. So money-wise, I think e-commerce is what brings you the most money as a model. A lot of models start doing e-com to just get those savings and then they slowly pull back and then they just do campaigns. So that's what I did for like 3.5, 4 years. I did only e-com just so I can build my savings and have that, so I'm not worried. And e-com is just really, really good in LA. And New York is high fashion brands. There's a lot of campaigns, there's a lot of skincare and makeup campaigns that pay a lot, but it's not every day that you get it. You can work 5 times a week in LA, and in New York it's a bit less. With Europe, pay is always less than America just because the quality of life and living is lower, you know, and it's cheaper to live there, so they pay you less, and also not so many jobs. There's a lot of good photographers and campaigns and commercials being filmed in Europe, but it's also once in a life, in a blue moon. So yeah, I guess that's what would describe it best. Do you have any stress on maintaining your body figure? Yes, all the time. I think I will never stop worrying about this because this is my brand, and a lot of people, you know, go to a job app, you know, and apply for a job with their resume. And for me, of course, I bring my work experience in my resume, but this is how I sell things, my face and my body. So I won't lie, I do have stress, and like I have days when it's not perfect, why am I this and why is this, and that's just me. I'm also like an overthinker, but I try to think less about it. I'm just being honest here, I do have it, but it's not as bad as it was before. Since when have you been modeling? I think my first modeling job was when I was 8, but it was like a hobby and I was just doing it part-time. Full-time, I started in 2017 when end of 2016 when I just moved to LA. Got a mother agent. Don't feel she's pushing me to my full potential. What shall I do? I think it's really important that your mother agent, I have my mother agent since 2017, Marina, and she has to believe in you more than anybody. That's why they call mother agent. Like, like she's your mother figure. She has to push you, push you, push you. Sometimes I'm not doing a casting or an audition, and my mother agent will literally be like, get your shit together, like what are you doing? You have so much potential, why are you wasting it? And then I'm like, oh my god, okay, you're right. You know, you need that person, because it's like your parents mold you into this persona in your life, and you have this really strong character from your parents. It all comes from your childhood and how you were raised, and when you get older you still need that person. So if that mother agent is now pushing you, in the end she is working for you too. So you need to be clear with your intentions and what you want and your goals, and if that person is not attributing to them, you need to make it really clear, because it either has to change, but honestly I don't think it will, because if it's not coming from within from day one, it won't change. Then it will be fake and you don't need that. So you have to find a new one. Personal opinion. I'm gonna ask a last question just for the giggles and end on this, but it's really funny because a lot of guys ask that. How to land a model. You gotta be funny and you gotta have money. No, I'm kidding. You know, we're not like, models are not just like aliens, they're still humans. So if you're a good person and you're funny and you got money, kidding, it's a joke. You know, it comes up so often, but there's no answer to that, and it's just the same way when girls find guys or guys find girls. Like, you have to be in the right time, in the right moment, and you have to have a connection. I mean, it's basic relationship advice. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. These were all the questions I have for this episode. As I said, I will be doing a series, so either write your questions here, it would be the best. If you have more questions, if I didn't answer your questions from before, if there's something more to elaborate on, please comment here, because then I'll make a part 2 from these questions that you give me. But thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, text me, DM me, and yeah, lots of love.